Jinhsi or Changli is the question that I get asked the most. You guys have a lot of trouble deciding it. I've been asked so many times during my stream, so which is why I'm literally making this video to help you guys out right now. Because while we actually managed to get to test Changli officially out, which is absolutely insane. So this shouldn't really be too long of the video because we're going to be focusing on pretty much the difference between Jinhsi and Changli so that it helps you easier to decide. And I'll make separate videos specifically looking into their specific build and guide later on because that video is going to be a lot more in-depth into these characters. Okay guys, Jinhsi banner is basically here, and if you're planning to swipe for her, then don't forget to check out Loot Bar. If you know me, I've been recommending you guys Loot Bar before since you can always save almost a 20% on all of your top-ups. With over 11,000 orders and so many good reviews at this point in time, you can be sure that Loot Bar is trustworthy. To demonstrate to you, I've been topping up my Wuwa account through Loot Bar buying the highest Wuwa package. You go through the checkout process, then they will ask you to fill your account information. After completing, you will have a direct message notifying that they are hopping in to top up for you. Then voila, you're done. Here you can see my order receipt. I've topped up Genshin Impact with Loot Bar many times before, so I can be sure that they are safe. So guys, be sure to check out Loot Bar through the link in my description, as it can be a great way for you to save money, especially if you are topping up a large amount in Wuthering waves. Alright, so I'm pretty sure you guys know how Jinhsi actually works, right? I'm quite sure you guys already had your time testing her out yesterday, right? Spend a little bit of time with her in the try runs if you don't have Jinhsi on your account. So basically speaking, Jinhsi is going to be a character that focuses on using her skill multiplier to do a lot of damage, because after her basic 4, she'll turn into her enhanced version of Incarnations and do a lot of, basic attack looking that is skill damage multipliers. And then in the end, she will have this enhanced version of the Hyper Beam that deals a lot of nuke damage in terms of that. So on top of that, you can sometimes see her as a nukers as well, because that attack, if you have enough stack of incandescence, then it deals a ton of damage. On top of that, the majority of her attack combo is technically going to be mid-air, right? So some of the good thing that gives you is that you can actually dodge many of the ground attack from your enemies quite easily, but which also leads to a downside of you're more prone to kind of like airborne attack and can be staggering attempts. Other than that, I feel that currently Jinhsi is going to be a little bit harder to actually counter enemies' attack, because her attack animations just goes out a lot and you are prone to actually spam her a lot. Therefore, you might get distracted to actually perfect counter enemy attack, though that does basically comes down to skill. But from the experience that I am currently having, it's only a little bit slightly harder. It's not that hard, but you still will need to actually keep in mind about that. Now, for Changli's kit, I believe that she's a lot simpler to understand in terms of Jinhsi's kit whenever you read into it, even though it can be, slightly long and can be, tempting to not understand at times. But basically what it revolves around is you spamming your normal attack, or basic attack, heavy attack, and enter her true sight state and deal as much damage as you can possibly do with her true sight. So what you basically do is, right, you spam your 4 basic attack, and then what you can see here is now her heavy or her jump button will have a red glowing. If you use her basic attack again, this is considered a true sight basic attack, and she will deal that incredible sounding move. And then if you press her jump button, she will basically enter as a phoenix and then do a plunging attack, and basically you can just actually continue your attack animation that way, right? So you can basically mix and match between her basic true sight, or if you want, you can just jump up again, right? Do that, and then she will continue doing that way. Now for her skill, basically after you use her skill, she automatically has her enhanced skill state. So that's what basically her skill is aiming to do, right? Do that, aiming state, right? Enters her attack animations, and then continue doing that. Now, as you might have noticed, she does have attack in mid-air too, which is actually really nice to deal with, enemies that sometimes go into mid-air, right? We don't really have too many enemies that do that right now, apart from the Emperor's Heron. But I'm pretty sure in the future there will be enemies that requires you to, do quite a lot of attack during mid-air, because they will have a lot of mid-air time. So this might come in handy later on. And then for Forte Circuit, you basically see a 4-stack bar above her HP right there. So basically what it does is that whenever she uses her true sight, you get 1 stack, right? As you can see here, right? On that, you get 1 stack. There you go. And then the whole point for you is to actually charge that stack up, right? Every time you do that, you get 1 more stack. So basically, whenever you get 4 stack like this, after I do that here, okay, we do that. Now you get 4 stack, you use a forte circuit, you do 1 big fusion damage. And then for a burst, it's pretty simple. You basically cast a burst, right? She does a 1 big fire damage, and then you instantly get 4 stack of your forte. Now, if during this time you use your forte, then she instantly get a 25% attack increase, which is actually very good. Some other talents of her actually gives her quite a lot of buff, right? Her first talent and second talent, and also her ultra skill is very interesting, which is similar to Yinlin, right? She give the next resonator a fusion damage bonus by 20, and then the liberation damage by a 25%, which is really good. However, I don't think right now there are many other characters that can make use of this, because fusion character we don't really have a lot. I think it's like, you know, like Jinhsi, Morify, Encore, and Changli, right? Well, if you have Encore and Changli's team, both of them are going to be like a very hard carry. So many of the time, I don't think that's going to be the case. Most probably, like, you know, you use it for Jinhsi, because now the problem is it only applied until the resonator switch out, right? So you can't use that for Mortify to enhance his, you know, coordinate attack. Jinhsi might actually make use the most of it, or again, well, if you want to use Encore, which I probably would want to try that team out, and I think that would work. So basically, now that you already know, a bit of Jinhsi and Changli's kit here, I will be giving you kind of like the pros and cons of 2 characters. And I will talk about Jinhsi first, and I just have to say a little bit harsh truth right now is that Jinhsi is not very much a free-to-play friendly character, because there are a few reasons for this. In order for you to get, her E skill, Hyper Beam, to do a lot of damage, you are required to have a lot of incandescent stack, right? The more incandescent stack you have, up to a 50 stack, the more that you can deal damage. However, in order to get this efficiently, you are required to have very good coordinated character to support her on the team, right? So that she can be on field, and then the other 2 members can do coordinated attack for her to stack up incandescent stack. And there are only like 3 characters in the game right now who are very good at this, and that is going to be Yinlin, Verena, and Mortify. Many of you might not have Yinlin because you pull for Yiyan, you don't have enough gems, and then you skip Yinlin. But if you do, then yeah, congratulations to you. But other than that, yeah, Verena, I believe you do, and Mortify as well. You should be able to have those characters. However, Mortify, right, he does require his presence chain sometimes. So that is not something that you can always get access to earlier on into the game. And Verena, of course, is a 5-star character. Some of you might have, some of you might don't. But other than that, Yinlin is the character that works the best on Jinhsi teams right now. Even better than Morify, I would say. Well, obviously, if you can have like Morify, both, and Yinlin on the same team without getting Jinhsi to be killed, then yes, that would be the best case scenario. But many of the time, you're just going to be using the best team of Yinlin and Verena. And right, obviously, Yinlin isn't going to be coming back anytime soon. So if you miss her out, that's not going to be a very nice thing. But another thing is, guys, it's going to be the weapon build requirement. Is that Jinhsi weapon right now, apart from her signature, most of the other weapon is actually not that good, right? Even the 5-star. Well, obviously, if you have the 5-star, it can still be a lot better than the 4-star. But like, look at the standard weapon, right? Even though it gives her energy regen, more burst uptime, but liberation damage bonus, right? Yeah, it's not something that she focuses on a lot. Obviously, she does deal damage with her liberation, but she focuses on skill. So this broadblade doesn't actually focuses a lot on her kit. Verdant Summit, like, how do you guys actually have this broadblade on your account? Because it's for Yiyan. If you haven't pulled for Yiyan, most likely you're probably not going to have this on your account. And then when we're looking into the 4-star options, guys, most of them actually sucks. So Autumn Traits, this is a bypass options. Not many of you actually buy the bypass. However, I think this is the only best 4-star option that she has right now. Other than that, right, it's going to be the Helios Cleaver. It does give her attack up, and she can utilize the passive of it pretty decently well. However, the other 3 broadblade options, like the Discord, it's an energy recharge blade. This one is also an energy recharge, and the Dauntless Everdite is a defense, right, for Tao Chi. So over half of the free-to-play options you can't already use. Like, if you look into the 3-star options, like obviously playing until the end game, you're not going to be using the 3-star option much. But other than that, you can only use like the Guardian Broadblade or the Broad of the Night. Well, obviously we could also have the new Broadblade that comes in the event too, but it's the 3-star options and it isn't really good either. So in reality, guys, honestly, you will probably have the Helios Cleaver as the only option for the 4-star if you're not going for the bypass. If you've already gotten your 5-star standard weapon to someone else, like you chosen a sword or a rectifier or pistol, right? You don't have access to this, and you clearly won't have a Verdant Summit either. So the best chance you've got right now is like trying to pull for her signature, which obviously is the best, right? It is a very good weapon for her, which makes her to be one of the least free-to-play friendly that I've seen to date right now in terms of her team restriction and the build requirement for her weapon that she's got. Whereas, like for Changli, I think that her sword options are very decent, right? The 5-star standard sword options is a pretty good one. She can use her skill up to 2 times, therefore she will get 2 stacks, right? Energy regen, so have her more liberation uptime, which is nice, and it is also a crit rate weapon, right? You guys can have access to this in the game. Other than that, guys, like the Commander of Conviction, great, you can use that. Looming Claws is a bypass option. If you have it, it is also a pretty decent option too. Even Lunar Cutter, right? You can also use this. And right now, some of these options are actually available. The sword is available on the weapon banner, so you might be able to try and snipe here and there. But I believe that Changli weapon banner should be having some of the other good sword options that's coming too. So basically, overall, you can just see that... What happened to my broad blade? What is this? But basically, overall, you can just see that Changli currently is a lot more flexible in terms of build requirement, and obviously her team build can also be slightly more flexible. She can technically slot into any teams as a normal DPS, and she will still work fine. Whereas Jinhsi, she has to have coordinated attack character on your team if you want to pull out her best potential. Now looking at the 4-star of the banner, right, we do have Sanhua, Yang Yang, and Danjin. Overall, I think this is a fine 4-star roster. Obviously, we don't have too many 4-star right now, so the 4-star character are going to have pretty recent rotate. Sanhua overall, I think is a pretty nice character. However, she's not fitting for Jinhsi, right? If you do decide to use other character other than coordinated, because she buff basic attack. So yes, getting more Sanhua is nice, but you will need to find out about slotting her into different team. Overall, Sanhua Resonation Chain isn't really too much of a needed, right? Most of it comes down to looking into increasing her attack. The only probably best thing is going to be the final Resonance Chain. For Yang Yang and Danjin, basically they are, a DPS character. So it comes down to whether or not you like to use them, right? They all have the ability to buff all of your team attack at S6. So I don't think many of you are going to have their S6 anytime soon, so that really doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be you decide to use them or not to be a DPS character on your account. Now for Changli's banner, we're going to be having Morphi, Bajor, and Taoqi. That Morphi is an absolutely amazing character. He's kind of like a must-have right now in most of the account. Obviously, he also can work on Changli's team, so that is nice. But the best thing here is you're going to have more Morphi's Resistant Chain. He needs kind of like an S4 at least to get basically his fullest potential. So that's going to be a good chance for you. Bajor is pretty nice. You don't really need her Resistant Chain. Just basically, build her and she will be a very good support healer character for you on the account right now. Taoqi is, very situational. She can be pretty decent when you pair her up in terms of character that want to use skill damage bonus, like Jinhsi can get her buff, but many of the time I don't think you'll be using Taoqi on Jinhsi's team. So overall, Morphi is going to be the best value on Changli's banner. Right, for Changli's weapon banner, I just realized that there's no 4-star sword that's going to be coming, so that kind of sucks. So if you're planning to go for Changli in the end, you might want to try and snipe the sword that is on Jinhsi's banner currently. So overall, guys, here's what I think, right? Honestly, I think that these two characters are really good. Kuro just literally created a very, very, good animation-wise character. Not just that, right? You can just see, dude, look at that. Their animation is just absolutely fantastic. I am so surprised that we get to test Changli this earlier on without having to wait for a 3-week. Most of us already know how powerful Jinhsi currently is. Obviously, as I mentioned, she is not too free-to-play friendly at times. So we might have to wait for future 4-star options to be more available for her. As for Changli, obviously, yeah, she is very easy to build. Her damage wise, I'm pretty sure it's going to be very, very high. She's only level 50 now in terms of testing, and she already dealing very good numbers. Very easy to play. Team build wise, you can slot her into any teams, and she has a lot of free to play friendly sword option too. So honestly speaking, guys, I'm leaning toward more Changli for you guys if you are considering about your account situation, right? You don't have a lot of gems to invest into Jinhsi, then Changli definitely is going to be a better character for you right now. But guys, like at the end of the day, you just have to choose whichever character you feel like you love playing more in the end, because they have very different attack animations. Their playstyle is very different as well, even though they are like head carry for you guys to be on the field. So choosing based on your preference is going to be definitely a thing. But obviously, if you are stuck between both of them, you want to get both, but you can't right now, then yes, I am leaning toward a little bit more Changli. But while obviously if you're planning to pull for both of them and you're planning to swipe, then don't forget to check out Loot Bar, because I'm pretty sure they are going to be helping you out a lot. I think that's all I have to say regarding these two characters, guys. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section and I will get to you there. I'm posting a full guide on everything on Jinhsi right now, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to not miss out, as well as check out the video right here. With that, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me till this part of the video, and I will catch you on my next video.